Well, no time to rest on your laurels. It's time now for the Recurve mixed team gold medal match. And what a lineup we have on our hands as the Netherlands lead out Germany, going for gold at the European Championships here in Munich. Well, you can see who most of the crowd are backing. I think we're going to find out very shortly with the loudest cheer in the stadium today.
On target number 1, representing Germany, Recurve and Florian Unruh. On target number 2, representing Netherlands, Gabi Schlösser. And Rick van der Veen. The lineup for this match is Klaus Recurve.
So there we go, teams introduced. Obviously the home crowd are going to be right behind Florian Unruh and Michel Kruppen. But I suspect my partner in crime sitting next to me here is going to be right behind Gabi Schlösser and Rick van der Veen. Chef, very quickly, you look at the rankings, Germany are the strong favourites for this, but actually at the moment, Rick van der Veen in particular is shooting very well.
Yeah, Rick has done really well in the last couple of months, I would say, and also the mixed team has done very well in the last couple of months. So yeah, this might become a very interesting match.
Kruppen with a sighter.
Yeah, she's been adjusting her sight for the previous match, I think, but it seems like the circumstances have changed, as Mauro is also not really hitting in the middle immediately. And it's interesting that Florian also hits there, so I think they collectively decided to adjust their sight accordingly, which made them hit in the same spot. So Rick is just asking, did you aim there or did you adjust your sight for it? Yeah, that looked like a good shot, so I think he'll be adjusting his sight.
Well, you always say get the grouping first. They've both done that, so we could be in for an absolute humdinger here.
Yeah, essentially you want to have a group before you can move that group. If you don't shoot a group, you don't know where to move your sight to. And it seems as though Germany has done exactly that.
Communication between them there, crucial. Unruh listening.
It's a bit strange to me. I didn't see any weird movements there that would indicate him going so far out of the middle.
Well, 33 is a very, very gettable target here for the Netherlands. Schlösser shows that her and her partner can shift their group as well. Time is running short there, but a 9 produces what turns out to be a brilliant 37 for the first 2 set points. So a bit of a question mark over Unruh's last arrow, isn't there?
Yeah, as in typically you can see, especially in recurve archery, if a shot won't go in the middle, there's something like a bad release, or maybe you can see in the left arm for a right-handed archer. Um, but in this case, it kind of looked okay. But yeah, it's very difficult to find and to see all of the nuances that the archer can feel when they're on the line.
And it could be just as simple as a little gust of wind.
It could be, but typically when it's windy, you don't shoot higher because it takes energy out of the arrow. So mostly you'll go either just to the side or to the side and a little bit down because the arrow flies not as good. Here, a good look at the finger position on the string. It's a very critical part of shooting recurve. You want to be very consistent on where you put your fingers on the string. As they show a video of Rick's bow and then Gabi's arrow hitting.
I think only you would have spotted that, though, to be fair. Well, curious final arrow from Unruh. Kroppen taking it fairly philosophically. But it does mean that the Netherlands are 2-0 up, and Chef Vandenberg has a big smile on his face.
There's still a bit of Dutch pride left.
Second set, though, a chance for the Germans to fight back here. Kroppen up to the line.
That's frankly quite brilliant, right? So she shoots an 8 in the first arrow, adjusts her sight, and just shoots 2 10s after that. So what more would you want?
Hello. The Germans have arrived.
Yeah, and this will put some pressure on the Dutch team as well, because they're not only shooting after the Germans. Seems like Gabi doesn't do pressure. They don't even only shoot after the Germans do. The Germans shoot 2 10s and they have the home crowd behind them, so it's a bit of a mental game as well. Seems like they're relatively unfazed by everything I just said.
Yeah, the Germans may well have arrived, but the Dutch got here first. 2-0 up. And the two pairs have hit the 10 mark. As soon as I say that, though, Kroppen drifts back off to the left.
And that was what I was saying before. If a shot goes out of the middle or out of the gold, you typically see it when recurve shooting. And that shot by Michele was not as smooth, not as fluid as some of the other shots that we've seen.
Unruh, though, rights the ship. A 38 is a good score, but 40 available to the Netherlands. Yeah, there was a lot of movement there.
And Gabi is typically a quick archer, so if she's holding for that long, then that's probably trouble. Rick, though, is not as quick of an archer, so I think he'll be in a bit of a pinch for time here.
A 10, though, to take them into a 4-0 lead. 9-3-1. Anything less, and the Germans will be level. Into the 10. Under pressure. A 39 is always going to be the 38. And we have a real match on our hands here as the Dutch team draw level.
And a relatively, how do you say that? A unique smile from Rick when walking off the line. Normally Rick is quite stoic in his face, but right now he could afford a smile when he shot that last arrow into the 10.
Olympischen Spielen in Tokio Silber gewonnen. Gabi Schlösser war mit dabei. Sie sind Nummer 2 in der Welt.
Yeah, she had to reset. You could see there was movement before that as well.
I think she expected the arrow to go through the clicker at that point, and she almost released it. But then she had to reset and do it again because the clicker didn't go yet. And if you release the arrow without the clicker going for a right-handed archer, it will go to the right bottom part of the target somewhere. Depending on what kind of clicker you use and what kind of vanes you use, it can be anywhere between like the 9 or completely miss the target.
Well, that's what team competition is all about, being able to support each other when times are tough, and that's certainly what Rick van der Ven did at the end of that. They're level now, but I'm going to drag the neutral out of you here. This is a great match, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this.
Quality shot up, and the two teams are all square as they go for the European gold medal. The Germans having to fight back here. The 33 and the 38 just pipped in that last one by Rick van der Ven, who stands on the other side of the shooting line waiting for Unruh.
Yeah, and it can be quite painful to lose out with a 38 because it's just a really good end. But yeah, now they shot 2 arrows basically on a size of a penny, but just not in the middle.
So the Dutch team just have to match the Germans now. So the pressure is really off, isn't it, to some extent?
Yes and no, because obviously there is also pressure in trying to bring the match home. But I think for this set particularly, if Germany keeps shooting 9s, then it's relatively easy to keep matching them.
Well, that's just what's happened. They are all square in this set, but the Dutch have the precious points on the board.
I think she was convinced that that was a good shot, but yeah, it's difficult to tell the difference in the shot when it's hitting either like a 9.8 or a 10.0.
Oh, they could have done with a 10 there, I think. So 36 is quite gettable here as a philosophical smile on the face of Kruppen.
I think Gabi just has to not be quick about it, but just put her side in the middle and go. But that's exactly what she's not doing. Yeah.
She looked anxious, didn't she?
Yeah, this one you could kind of see this one coming. At this point, I think what Gabi should have done is just put her side on the gold and just go for it. Because if she shoots a solid shot, it doesn't matter if it's super precise. She'll typically hit the gold, and the same goes for Rick. But yeah, it's like I said before, it's quite difficult to just bring a match home like that, even if the scores are manageable.
Exactly. So I mean, I said the pressure's off, and you corrected me immediately and said, well, actually, the pressure's right there. And quite frankly, Schlesser was suffering from the having to redraw previously. The knock-on effect then meant less time for Rick van der Ven and also less confidence.
Yeah, it seems like Gabi's confidence has taken a little bit of a dent, and yeah, I think if I would be shooting with her or in the coaching box, yeah, I would maybe say like, okay, just put your sight on the middle and go, like just keep fighting for it. It's difficult if you're on the line, and it's always easier said than done. But in this case, I think that's what would help Gabi and Rick in this case the most. Although, historically speaking, if you talk to Rick about maybe speeding up his shot, he has a good point in saying, okay, but my shot, there's a reason my shots are taking too long. If I speed it up now, I might do something else wrong. So there's always this fine line that you're walking in terms of rhythm.
Well, the Germans have got themselves on to the scoring sheet here. 4-2, a lead for the Netherlands. So Germany will shoot first, and it's Michelle Kroppen on the line.
That looked like a really nice shot, but just hit slightly left of center. And I think she's adjusting her sight right now. It seems like there might be just this little bit of a drift, because every time so far I feel like they've followed each other in their first arrow, and then it might be that maybe the wind is slightly there and changing, but it's not really easy to feel. That was not the best shot. It was a similar shot to the previous one, but she managed to throw it into the yellow still. Slightly tedious, that shot, but see they're trying to read the wind and try to correct for it. But I think Rick thought that the wind was going to the left, also because Germany was hitting on the left, but he might have overcorrected a bit.
Critical arrow, and it's a 10. The next arrow for Germany, also important. Florian Unruh could really do with putting down another 10. Just that for a 38. Now let's not forget they shot a 38 before and it didn't work out. This time the pressure is slightly different, because the Netherlands now need 2 10s to draw level. If they were to do that, they would take this gold medal. Technical break?
Yeah, it seems like something is wrong with the clock. I don't know. Gabi didn't step on the line, and instead of stepping on the line, she pointed at something and said something to the judge. So.
Well, there's the reason. That's that clock again. That pesky clock with its gremlins here on a Sunday afternoon. Just to add spice, a little bit more spice. Not that it needs it. This one, it's an absolute corker. So, Chef, at this moment in time, what is going through? I mean, the Germans have shot their arrows. If you're now there, standing in those shoes, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's really easy to go into negative thinking and think like, oh, of course this happens to us, and of course it happens at this moment. And typically, if you're standing for long enough, your nerves will kind of drop down a bit, but then suddenly you're thrown back into reality. You're like, oh, I need to shoot. So. Yeah, you cannot really get too relaxed, because you have to stay sharp for those 2 arrows that you still have to shoot.
Yeah, and the great consideration there for athlete welfare as well, for bringing out the shade for Schlosser. Just even potentially a distraction from what's going on. That the clock's up and running it again, and Gabi Schlosser is on the line. 2 10s required.
Yeah, that was a good shot. You could see that rhythm that I was talking about. Just this time she just put her sight in the middle, kept going until the clicker went, and then fired a strong shot.
And that's what you said Van der Ven has to do. A 10 for the European title in 2022.
One second on the clock, and he gets it.
Oh, just about. I don't think anyone can believe it around there, certainly not the coach. But Van der Ven, twice in that match, required a 10 this time to take the title, and he did it on both occasions. A warm congratulations to the silver medalists as well, and a very, it's always good to see this at the end. This is a European title match being contested here, and look at the respect between the athletes.
Yeah, well, they have shot together with or against each other, depending on how you want to look at it, for so long, and they know each other. They see each other quite regularly. Oftentimes they see each other more than their own family, so you could say that it's like a family.